Welcome to another London walk, and today I'm at Green Park Station, which is in the heart of Mayfair. In fact, Buckingham Palace is just behind me over there in the park. But I'm not going to Buckingham Palace today. I'm actually going to go to Covent Garden. So we're going from Green Park Station to Covent Garden, which, if you haven't done the walk ever before, is really easy. It's not too long, hopefully only going to take 25, 30 minutes at most. And we're going to see some amazing things along the way. And the great thing about this walk is that it is one straight line. So basically you just have to keep walking in the same direction. So why don't you join me now on the walk from Green Park to Covent Garden, and we will see what we find along the way. So I'll just turn the camera around and we can start our walk. So first thing we've seen is a large double-decker London bus, which London's famous for. The difference with this one is it's all electric. So they've all gone electric these days, I think. So much more environmentally friendly. And everybody does travel on buses and tubes in London. Now the closest landmark to Green Park Station is this building here, the Ritz Hotel. Unfortunately, it doesn't look too good today because it's got some scaffolding on it. So you can't really see it in all of its glory. Which is a shame. It's one of the most expensive hotels in London, one of the most upmarket. Very nice. There's a really good afternoon tea. I'm going to try and get across the lights so I don't have to waste too much time. So yeah, there's a really good afternoon tea. You have to book quite a few weeks in advance to get in there. Definitely worth it. Lotus Garage. For everybody getting their large bonuses, go and get a brand new Lotus. There's a nice red one in there. Not too busy today on Piccadilly, but I'm sure it will get busier and busier as we get nearer to Covent Garden. And the route that we're going to take, we're going to be going through Piccadilly Circus, across Leicester Square, and then walking from Leicester Square through to Covent Garden. So it definitely will get busier the more tourists we come across. Over on the right-hand side there is the Wolseley, which is another very famous restaurant and reported to do the best breakfast in London. I'm not so sure it is the best breakfast. Check out the video that I made on that not that long ago. It didn't work out quite as well as I was hoping it would. It's a really nice walk, this. Pavement's quite wide, quite busy Piccadilly, the road, but not a problem. Plenty of London buses. Everybody's travelling on buses today. Big feature in London these days is Lime bikes and Forest bikes. They're two of the most popular. There are some other brands available as well. And you can see that a lot of them get parked in the central reservation now. So rather than banking up on the pavements here, they're put in that central section, which is a pretty good place to put it. So you get plenty of them around. There is one here right next to me on the pavement. And they are great if you want to jump on a bike and ride around London, because you don't have to hire them, you don't need to take your passport, you just have to have a credit card, set up an account on the app, and you are off and running, quite literally. Well, riding. So Piccadilly, lots of really big, impressive buildings here. Lots of them date back hundreds of years. I've got the Burlington Arcade coming up here. So we'll have a quick jump in here. We'll have a look in the Burlington Arcade, which is quite a nice bit of upmarket shopping. So let's have a look in here, see what we can see through here. Very nice cakes. Impressive chandeliers. Lots of really expensive shops. Quite long, Burlington Arcade, much longer than I remember it. Not sure how many shops are in here, but it's quite a distance. We're only about halfway through. Somebody getting their shoes cleaned? Don't see that very often these days. Hello.
Hi.
It's a good place if you want to buy some shoes or a hat or an umbrella or some very expensive clothing. That's quite a nice upmarket place to walk through. It's completely covered, so if it's raining, you can come and while away a bit of time in Burlington Arcade. Buy yourself a watch, maybe. Some jewellery.
We won't pay last time, so it's me this time. You did actually pay last time. Oh,
So here we are now at the back of the Royal Academy, which is a famous art gallery in London. Famously does its summer exhibition each year, Royal Academy of Arts. So it's open to everybody. You can apply if you make some art. You can apply to have it in the exhibition, and you can buy all of the things in that exhibition as well. But this is the back entrance. The front entrance is back on Piccadilly. So we'll just wander back towards Piccadilly in a moment. Some interesting phone boxes here. Royal Academy phone boxes, painted them different colour, purple. Interesting. People on scooters, it's the other option. If you don't want to hire a bike, you can hire a scooter. So coming through onto Regent Street now, and we'll jump back down to Piccadilly Circus and follow our way through to Covent Garden. Regent Street, one of the big shopping streets. It runs on to Oxford Street, so it's obviously the biggest shopping street, but there's plenty of shops on Regent Street as well. A bit less busy pedestrian-wise, usually a bit busier from a traffic point of view. And you can see the nice curve to the road here on Regent Street as it bends round to Piccadilly Circus. So Hollister, very popular clothing brand from the States. It's from California, relatively inexpensive. That's their flagship store, I think, in the UK. We're coming down towards Piccadilly Circus now, which is famous, similar to Times Square, for its billboards. It has electronic billboards these days. Obviously, a long time ago, there used to be actual billboards where people would just post up advertisements, but now with the digital age, everything is electronic. So huge digital screens with constantly changing adverts. And we've also got Eros at Piccadilly Circus as well. And Piccadilly, the road we were just on, and Piccadilly Circus, interesting history on that, that a Piccadilly, back in the 19th century, a Piccadilly was a collar that was sold, a stiff collar that people who had a lot of money would buy. And so a guy, a very famous tailor, had a shop selling Piccadillys, and Piccadilly, the road, became named after that. So that was how it got its name, Piccadilly. And Piccadilly Circus that we're coming up to now, in the Victorian era, a circus was basically a circular road junction. So what we would call a roundabout or something like that today, back in the Victorian era, they called it a circus. So Piccadilly Circus got its name because it's an intersection of a number of different roads, similar to Oxford Circus, Cambridge Circus. There's a number of different road circuses in London. They all date back to that Victorian era. So you can see we're coming up to Piccadilly Circus here, and we've got the big billboards, so showing lots of different adverts at the moment. You can come and watch that. Interesting that it's a tourist attraction to watch adverts. You know, people are trying to avoid watching adverts mostly these days. And we're coming through to the Eros part of it. So over there you can see the statue of Eros. It used to be a fountain, not running any water anymore. So it's dry fountain these days. So you can see we've got the interchange. That's Piccadilly that we were on originally before we went to Burlington Arcade. And got a number of different roads running off here, Shaftesbury Avenue. Lots of theatres on Shaftesbury Avenue. And this is Eros, which is obviously after the Cupid at the top. And no, it's a nice statue these days, but no water anymore. People used to jump in. I think the authorities decided it wasn't worth having water in there. So we've got the Criterion Theatre currently showing Titanic. This is a musical based, I think, loosely on Titanic. A bit more fun than that. And a few stores, the Criterion here as well. Restaurant, Hard Rock Cafe. And we're heading down now towards Leicester Square, which is just in the distance. So quite a lot of food places around here. We'll talk about Leicester Square when we get there, but it's basically famous for cinemas and movies. It's basically where a lot of the premieres in the UK take place. And the road that we're coming onto now is Coventry Street. And if you follow Monopoly, if you're a fan of Monopoly, you'll know that Coventry Street is one of the yellow properties in Monopoly. It's only a very short road. So not a lot goes on Coventry Street. Not quite sure why it made it onto the Monopoly board, but it did. Now, anyone who knows the history of London, buildings on the left used to be Planet Hollywood. So back in the 90s, when that was very popular, some London phone boxes here. But yeah, on the left-hand side here, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, and I think it was Sylvester Stallone involved, opened up a famous restaurant called Planet Hollywood, which there were a number of them around the world, and you had lots of movie memorabilia. It was on that corner just there. Unfortunately, closed down a long time ago. Now empty, nobody in these buildings here. Rent will be far too expensive. So just coming on towards Leicester Square now. So you can see that it doesn't take long at all, even though we made quite a big detour through the Burlington Arcade. It's still only taken us 15 minutes or so to get to Leicester Square from Green Park Station. Now you can obviously take the tube. You could get the tube from Green Park to Leicester Square. But why would you want to do that? It's much nicer to have a walk. You get to see a bit more of London, some people, some of the stores, some of the pubs, some of the restaurants. Scope out exactly what's going on. Also gives you more perspective as to how close these things are to each other, because if you're just using the tube, I don't think you really get a good mental map of what London layout is all about. Let's jump across to Leicester Square. So this is interesting though. So we've got here, this is the clock that used to be in that building there, used to actually come out on the hour, every hour, the Swiss clock, but they've changed it all now. So it's now in its own standalone presentation. Now, one of my favourite things in Leicester Square, it's a bit of a hidden gem. So this is the square itself. We'll have a walk around it in a moment. But one thing I just wanted to point out to you is an amazing cinema. So, is it up this one? Let me just have a quick look up here. That's up the next one. It's not up this one. I'll have a look in a moment when we walk around the square. But the Prince Charles Cinema, which has been on Leicester Square for a long time, well, maybe they've closed it down. Maybe it's not here anymore. I think it used to be up here. Let me have a quick look, see if I can find it. It definitely used to be in this location. Hotel Indigo, Empire Casino. So this is a tapas restaurant. Let me just walk around here and see if the Prince Charles Theatre is still here or not. Just jump down Lisle Street before we go back onto Leicester Square itself. So you can see this is part of Chinatown in London. It's got the lanterns. This is where all the congregation of Chinese restaurants are. If you're interested in coming for a Chinese meal, this is the time and place to come to. There's lots of them to the left here. This is just on the outskirts of Chinatown, so this is the edge of it. Hey, yeah, I'm coming through to the Prince Charles Theatre now. I just went up one road too early. So the reason why this is such a hidden gem, this Prince Charles Theatre, is it shows old movies, as well as new ones, but old movies, cult movies, classics, and it's really cheap. So it doesn't break the bank. So if you're coming to London and you want to do something different, you can see The Remains of the Day is on in 70mm at the moment whilst I'm here. But there's lots of really interesting movies on here all of the time. It's a bit old school inside, quite cool. You can definitely see some of your favourite movies that you've ever seen. See One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest on here soon. Yeah, it's really quite a cool place to come. So if you're coming to London, I'd recommend that. It's just off Leicester Square. It's not one of the big high-profile cinemas, but you'll be able to watch something cool and funky. And it's on, movies on all day there, so you can put it in as part of your day. Let's have a quick walk around Leicester Square itself. So I'll have a quick run around, see what's going on. Looks like they've got something set up here. You can see this bit's been roped off and there's lots of movie lights and stuff, so there must be a premiere that they are planning for at the moment. I'm not sure what that is. Can I see if I go over the top? I'm not sure. Okay, so lots of people coming this way. We'll do a quick lap of the square. Yeah, you can see they're setting something up really quite big here at the moment. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but there's obviously something going on Leicester Square sometime soon. So that's sort of spoiling my vista a little bit for this walk, but can't do anything about that. So Leicester Square is named after the Lord Leicester, I think it was, from sometime in the 19th century. And it's a big congregation point. It's all pedestrianised, the whole square. And there's plenty of statues all around here. Got McDonald's, all bar one. Let's go down to the Odeon here. So there's the first statue. Guess who that is? It's Mary Poppins. There's another statue coming up here. Guess what this one is? It's Singing in the Rain. So these are all from famous movies in the past. And we've got one of the big cinemas down here, the Odeon. So this is one that you can come and watch some movies on, current movies. They do have premieres here as well. The main one that we just walked past is the one where they have a lot of the premieres. Okay, see if you can guess where this statue is from. This is Daniel Kaluuya from Get Out. So a bit more tricky, that one. Let's go through the middle of the square. So we've got the two big cinemas here. There's Cineworld on the left that we're coming up towards, and then the big Odeon on the right. And I think the big Odeon looks like it's got lots of things outside of it as well. Looks like it might be a food festival or something. You can see the inside of the square here. It's got fountains. Not too big at the moment. Take a quick walk around these fountains. There's another statue. Famous British film star, Charlie Chaplin. Somebody sitting next to Mr. Bean over there. There's a statue. And the central piece is William Shakespeare, statue fountain. I'll jump down this one here. So if you are looking to go to the theatre, the official London Theatre ticket booth is here on Leicester Square. You can see it. And that you'll get tickets for theatre today. So if you want to go to the theatre tonight, come along here, ask them what they've got, and you can get some reduced price tickets. Quite a good way of doing something. If you're in London, you want to go and see a show. So let's take a walk. Or can I walk up here? It looks like it might be closed off. No, just about walk up here, I think. And then we will walk through to Covent Garden. Here we go. It's House of the Dragon, HBO Max. There's a massive dragon's head there. So they're setting everything up. There's obviously going to be a premiere for House of the Dragon, which not something I'm familiar with, but looks a bit like Game of Thrones. That type of flavour.
Good for you, me. We're going.
Lots of food places here on Leicester Square, as well as the cinemas. So if you're looking for something to eat, plenty of options. Okay, let's leave Leicester Square now and head towards Covent Garden. So Leicester Square looked a bit different than usual. Doesn't usually have all of that hoarding and everything set up for the premiere. Only occasionally it looks like that. So quite unusual.
What country you're from, how you can have peace with God this very afternoon in Leicester Square. Now, the beauty of knowing how to have peace with God is that
So we're now coming to another underground station. This is Leicester Square Underground. This place here, the Hippodrome, is now a casino. It used to be, when I first moved to London, it was a nightclub called the Hippodrome Nightclub. Wasn't very upmarket. It was a bad night if you ended up in the Hippodrome nightclub. Probably a worse night now. It's a casino. Try and jump across the road and not get run over by any of the taxis or the buses. So we're now heading towards Covent Garden. So there's Leicester Square tube station. We passed Piccadilly Circus tube station as well at Piccadilly Circus. So we passed 2 stations so far. The next station on the Piccadilly line is Covent Garden. That's what we're heading to. We're just going to keep walking straight down this road. Going to bring us to Covent Garden Station. So there's lots of options in terms of which way to go here. I'll just walk around this road because this road here is St Martin's Lane, which St Martin's College of Art, I think, is on this road. You can see down there some theatres, plenty of theatres around here. This is really the heart of the theatre land. So I'll just keep walking. I'm going to go down Longacre, that's Garrick Street, could go down there. I'm going to go down Longacre to get to Covent Garden today. So as you can see, nice wide pavements. Get lots of people down here. Not too busy today. Becoming the heart of the summer holidays, it will be rammed. Got a bit of retail here around Covent Garden. Abercrombie and Fitch, TK Maxx, Uniqlo, Lululemon, which I read recently that the guy who created Lululemon deliberately created the brand that didn't mean anything and for it to have lots of L's in it because it would be more memorable, particularly in Japan. And he's coming for a bit of criticism for that, I think. So you can now see Covent Garden Tube Station, the underground station, in the distance here. So you can see how close together all these different tube stations are. It doesn't take long to walk. Much more pleasant to walk than it is to go down and have to wait for the tube, and also you have to pay for it. So if you're coming to London, just put your trainers on and do some walking. A bit more energetic as well, better for you. Clears the mind and the body. We're going to take a walk around Covent Garden because this is where a lot of the street performers come to. So there's some free entertainment. Well, when I say free entertainment, it's free while you're watching it, and then they will ask you to contribute. So you don't really get anything for free at Covent Garden. Well, you can do if you run away before they come round with the hat. So we'll have a look anyway. It's quite a big tourist attraction, popular with a lot of people, Covent Garden. It is a fun place to come to. There's lots of bars and restaurants. Covent Garden, quite a good place to hang out. It does get very busy in the summer period. Hopefully not too busy today. We'll have a look when we get down there. So this is the underground station. The problem with Covent Garden Underground Station, it doesn't have any escalators. So you have to get the lift, which can be a bit of a pain if it's busy and you're waiting for multiple lifts. But if we go down here, this takes us down to the Piazza. So it's a pedestrianised square. You can see there's no traffic here. Traffic's not allowed, just people. So we'll wander down to the Piazza, which is where the entertainment takes place. And there's quite a few shops and bars and restaurants as well. Got 2 pubs here right next to the station, the Nag's Head on the left and the White Lion on the right. Both really popular, both really old. Been here for a long time, so quite nice pubs inside. Worth checking out if you want to see what a good traditional English pub is like when you come to London. Some more telephone boxes. Some of them have telephones working in them, others are just tourist attractions. I don't know whether anybody's ever using, these two don't have any telephones in them, they're just a tourist attraction. So have a quick walk around the square, there's some shops and stuff in the middle, have a look at that in a minute. Just have a quick walk around the square, have a look at the Piazza part where the entertainers do their thing. On the right here, it's the Apple store. If you're coming to London, you need something to do with your Apple devices, something goes wrong, that's where to come to. Really big Apple store. Always tricky to get served in those places. So you can see here, coming through to the front of the Piazza, it looked quite impressive. It's like a Colosseum really, that building. And this is where the entertainment takes place. So this square in front of this building here is where the street performers set themselves out. Looks like there's a guy at the moment doing some acrobatics, or maybe he's just warming up. Not sure. He's not very popular. Nobody's really watching him. Usually you would have a big crowd here, but he doesn't have any crowd at the moment. So doing some handstand press-ups, which is quite impressive. But this would be, if you come, this is where everything happens in this part of the Piazza. And a really good pub is the Punch and Judy behind me there, and it's got a balcony above it. So you can actually sit on that balcony and watch all the entertainment, but you will get the entertainers coming up with their hat at the end of it. So that's what it looks like, the square where the entertainment takes place. He's trying to build a bit of interest at the moment. We'll see whether he manages to do so or not. But some great bars and restaurants in there, in the middle of the Piazza. I'll do a quick walk around, and then we'll have a walk through that central part. This place is just filled with different restaurants and places to eat and drink. So let's have a quick walk around the outside, and then we'll go through the middle, and then I'll head back to Covent Garden Tube, and that'll be the end of the video. So thank you for watching this video. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Let me know if there's any particular walks that you would like me to undertake. I'm happy to stroll around anywhere in London. I think there's lots of interesting things to see and do, and quite often you can come to London and not do any of them because you don't know that they're there, because you're sitting on a tube, you're not getting up off the tube. So you start getting off the tube, doing some walking, then you'll start seeing a bit more. And there's one of those things, the London Transport Museum, right in front of me here, right at Leicester Square, which, to be honest, I didn't even know was here. Then we've got the Jubilee Market. So there's a little market here you can go into. Lots of different things going on in there. Classic market stuff. Lots of stalls, lots of traders. Worth having a look if you're interested in that sort of thing. So there's the London Transport Museum. If you're interested in London transport, you'll find out all about the history of it in there.
So it's 2:45.
Yes.
Okay, let's dive into the middle of this section here and have a look at some of the shops and bars.
last time I took it.
Yeah, I'll show you when we get there.
No, it's built up a bit of an audience now. And here we are back at the Apple store. So let's finish off this walk by heading back to Covent Garden Tube Station. And that's the end of the tour from Green Park, next to the Ritz Hotel. We walked past lots of different famous restaurants and hotels. We walked past Piccadilly Tube Station, Piccadilly Circus. We walked past Leicester Square and Leicester Square Tube Station, then walked through to Covent Garden itself and heading back now to Covent Garden Tube Station. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then let me just turn the camera around. If you have enjoyed it, sorry, I'm trying to fiddle with my camera. If you have enjoyed it, then please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let me know what walks you would like me to do in the future, because I'm keen to do as many as possible. Somebody dressed as a lobster behind me, I'm not sure what that is about. They're interviewing people on camera, so I think I'll give that one a miss. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I'm just about to head into Covent Garden Tube Station now to head home. So I've had fun, I've had a nice walk, it's been a good bit of exercise. If you haven't had a walk yet today, I'd definitely encourage you to go out and about and do something, maybe take your phone and video it, do something like I've just done. You know, you might find you enjoy it. So here I am now at Covent Garden Tube Station. So I'm about to head in, so thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again on the next video.